Time for some more cooking with surge. I'll be making a surge poke cake today to try to maximize the amount of surge soda in a cake. It's going to involve a surge soda cake with surge jello, surge frosting, candied surge, and concentrate surge drizzle. And to start out with that, I need to boil down some surge in order to make some surge concentrate. So I've got 3 cans of surge that are going into the pan. This is all going to be boiled down. I have another video where I'm concentrating the surge, but essentially you heat it until the syrup is about 223 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it's done. At that point, about 3/4 of the water's been boiled off, and you really haven't started to caramelize anything, so you retain a lot of that good surge flavor. So I'm not going to bore you with watching it, but let's just get those 3 cans of surge in there, and then we'll cut to the final product, okay? Now in that first video, when I was actually boiling this down to 1/4 volume, I was doing it by weight, and I noticed that at about 223 degrees is where I was hitting it, and that has been pretty consistent. So I'm just going to follow that basically from here on, because it's a lot easier to do that than measure the mass of this stuff as you're going. So just put it in and go on high, and you really don't have to worry about stirring it or anything. Everything's going to be pretty good and convected, so nothing's going to stick. Now I need to make the actual cake. So I'm going to do just like I did before. I'm going to take a white cake mix, put it in a bowl, and then to this I'm supposed to add 12 ounces of surge. Now, I boiled down the surge beforehand because what I wanted to do was add maybe 2 to 4 ounces of surge concentrate to this. So I'm going to make sure that this is in weight mode. And there's about 2 ounces of surge concentrate. So then I'm going to add 10 ounces of surge to this. Bring that up to 12 ounces. .2 ounces. And stir it up. Get the scale out of the way. I got the oven preheating to 350 per the instructions. Nice foamy mess here. All the carbonation coming out of the surge essentially. And then this is going to go in the oven for 29 to 34 minutes. Okay, put that in the pan. So when the oven gets up to temperature, I'll be pulling this out and continuing with the process. So I've got a batch of surge jello ready to go. And here's the cake out of the oven. It's been cooling for quite a while. So I'm just going to poke all the holes in the cake, and then I'll pour the jello on top and refrigerate this thing for a couple hours. Now I'll pour the jello over the top. Stick in the refrigerator. I've been doing some development work today on trying to concentrate surge by fractional crystallization, trying to freeze the water out of it. So this temperature probe is in the surge, and it seems to have started freezing around 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I would pour off the surge, strain off the ice, put the surge back in here. I've had numbers as low as 26. It seems like it might be concentrating it somewhat, but I guess I'll have to get a density of it to determine exactly how much concentration has taken place. But at this point, some more ice. I'll pour that off and probably get a weight on it, but I think I'm at about 1/4 of the original volume at this point. So the cake is set. It's time to make the frosting for it. The last time I made the frosting, I followed the directions. It wanted 2 tablespoons of syrup, a tablespoon of sugar. I'm just going to try to make it with 3 tablespoons of syrup. Together with a cup of heavy cream. And then just whip it together until it all forms whipped cream. Mix your sip. Cream is whipped. And once all the whipped cream frosting is in place, top it off with some surge syrup. And finally, a couple pieces of candied surge, dusted with confectioner sugar so they don't stick together. So before I take a bite, let's put this in perspective. The cake itself had 10 ounces of surge, 2 ounces of surge concentrate, which is basically a can of surge. The Jell-O, 1 can of surge, and then part of another can, but with the surge concentrate that went into it, that can of surge is gone. At that point, we're going into the next can with the frosting and with the surge concentrate on top plus the candied surge. That can is gone and that can is gone. 5 cans of surge in this cake. Let's give it a try. So for the taste test. First off, I'm not a big fan of poke cakes, but it was a way to get more surge in here. Second, if you're wondering about that surge that I'd froze and tried to get concentrate out of the other day, I drank it, it was delicious. I think that might be better than actually drinking the surge. With the richness of the cream, the body of the cake, with the flavor of the surge. It's delicious. That's pretty awesome. Candied surge. Definitely a success. Wow. Super surge cake. Well, hopefully you enjoyed watching this. If anyone does watch this, I don't care. It gave me a good excuse to make this ultimate surge cake. And I would press someone, for the sake of competition, to try to jam more surge into a cake than this. And then I would make that cake and I would try it.